Hi, this morning I'm going to take you around the garden and show you 29 ground covers that I use around my garden to pretty up the edges of the garden. So we'll begin. I've got a note here so that I don't leave any out, forget any of them. So I'll start down the end of this pathway. It's a very quiet Sunday morning, so I'm hoping that other than a little bit of wind, I won't have any interference. So the first thing down here is bacopa, which I've used. It stays here quite beautifully flowering most of the winter as well. It's a very sheltered spot here. So bacopa is the first one here, and it's in little patches around the garden as well. So that's a little pink one. You can get it's got a little star. There's a white one and a pale blue one. So along here we have mondo grass, which is also around the other side. I divide these things up and spread them around the garden. And along here is there's a sedum. This is voodoo. It's got a pretty little pink flower. It spreads quite well. It's a good spreader. And back here is my campanula, which is flowering at the moment, mixed in with some more breccia at the back here, which is finishing really. It had a really lovely show in the early spring. So that's that little piece of garden there around the stepping stone. So over here you'll see lobelia that self-seeds everywhere. I just leave them wherever they land, pull them out when they're finished. So there's a bit more there. So over here I have an arabis, which is almost finished flowering, but it's coming up for new flowers, and it's overtaking my little phlox here really. Phlox is a good ground cover, makes pretty little mounds. You'll see I've put a bit more sedum here. So that's that one. And then I just want to show you around here where I've added some more phlox around the edges here. There's some more lobelia. So here I've put another little clump of phlox here, and there's some bacopa and some lobelia. So the edging ends up looking quite pretty, very blue at the moment. So that's that. And then down here we have a little pretty little flower called diasca, and this one's a pink one, and I've put it in here with my nepeta, my catmint. And here comes my little friend to join us. Here's a dianthus. I use a lot of dianthus around the edgings as well. It's a good ground cover. So there's a few ground covers around the edges there. Alright, there's another arabis here. It's got a nice little compact foliage. I like the way there's the lamb's ear. That's another ground cover that I use. This is a little different coloured breccia that I planted from seed. It's struggling a bit there. It was under the bulb foliage. Now around here I wanted to show you this little orange diasca, which I've had for quite a while, hidden in amongst here. It's underneath my David Austin rose, so the colours go quite well in there. So that's the diascus. Now around here I have one of my geraniums. This is a good little ground cover. It spreads quite well, although this one struggled. And here's the flower of this one. It's got one flower on it. It's pretty. And beside that I've got the thyme. It's all in flower at the moment. There's another arabis. I'm hoping these are going to flower again shortly. Now over here is some more dianthus, which I love the colours. Now here's a little ground cover. It's called Persicaria. See if I can get that into focus, that little flower. It needs apparently needs to be kept fairly damp. It's flowering now and you can see it's weaving its way through these flowers, and it's hello. He likes standing all over everything. Now beside the Persicaria is the ajuga, which has been flowering. You can see here I've chopped a few heads off because they're finishing really. It's a really great ground cover that most people are aware of. So there's that. There's another little catmint in the back there that's a good ground cover as well. So Nepeta. So we'll go along here. There's more lambs here. So you see I've put more mondo grass here, and the lamb's ear, and the phlox. So I have spread it around, and most of these ground covers, they're all flower, and most of them also are easily spread around the garden. That I guess the Nepeta can grow quite tall, so you might not necessarily want it right on the edge, but I think it looks quite pretty. Another ground cover that I have here that I use is these Emeria. I've got 3 different colours, I think. Now here's a Hebe, which is called El Camino, and it's going to flower soon. It's quite low growing. It's pretty little different foliage to have along your edging. And this is a phlox, a little phlox, dianthus sorry. And in the back here, this is erigeron. Now it's a bit of a problem in New Zealand. It's restrict the sale of it, and the cultivation of it is restricted in New Zealand. You can't sell it anyway or grow it. If you haven't already got it, you can't acquire it. So it's my little companion. Under here is Lithidora, which is beautiful little blue flowers on it. Mine has diminished a little bit. I think it's coming to the end of its life. I've had it probably getting up towards 10 years now. So here's another little piece of dianthus that I've spread out, and with the thyme in the background. I'm trying to get a little nosiness going on, looking into my seedlings over there, which I'm really supposed to be planting. So there's another geranium here. This is a new one for me. There it is. So that's quite small still in amongst that. So that's another ground cover, more phlox. more dianthus. Okay, now this is another hebe here. So I love the way it just sort of lays on the ground, and you can see in here there's new growth popping up, which is quite encouraging always to see. Now this is a little iberis, which is supposed to be a perennial candy tuft. Hasn't flowered much, but it has been under my daffodil foliage. I think that's a little, oh yeah, that's a piece of it. So that's that, more mondo grass. So I've got some more iberis here, so I'm hoping with a little bit of water and TLC that I can get it to flower now. This is alyssum, which I've mostly got white, and I pull a lot of it out, but as it gets big it gets a bit straggly, so I just keep them small. Alright, mondo grass looks really pretty on this border, and in here along these edges of this concrete and on the other side of this path I've put some saxifrage, which has just finished flowering. It has a little pink starry flower on it, and that's a lovely edging. Here's some more of it in amongst the lambs here. And it's really good to try and have some contrast in your planting. Oops, losing control of the camera. So over here, I'll let it pop over this side of the path, I think, and show you this. This is a little Veronica here, which is starting to flower again. It flowered in the early spring, and I've got some pink Emeria here beside it. There. And there's some alyssum which I've let grow and self-seed underneath our mailboxes. Okay. So we'll go along here. And some more saxifrage. And heuchera, I use quite a lot of heuchera along this. This is my shady garden we're going into now. So, and this Brunnera here looks very nice alongside the heuchera. And it's a good compact cover for the ground as well. Here's a larger hebe, which is not really a ground cover, in flower. Okay, just along here, another heuchera here. There's some more dianthus. That's a pretty one. I like this one. Now somewhere in here, which I've just gone past, is Lady's Mantle. Where have I put it? It's got a bit lost, I think. Oh, here it is. Oh, about to flower. So, and that sends out little seedlings, which is very handy because they can be moved around. Looks pretty good there behind the cineraria. Lovely when the little green flowers come out. So that's another good ground cover plant. Just along here, we're just about done. So these heucheras are really good to use in a shady area. They quite appreciate it. There's another one in there. So I try and cover the ground as much as I can, because it cuts back on the weeding that needs to be done. So these are, look, I've as you can see, I have a way of adding my colours so that they contrast with each other. This is another Brunera, a variegated one. This looks pretty good here. So that's my edging there, which sometimes things don't need to be in flower to give you some interesting colour. This has a little blue forget-me-not-like flower on it. Got an agapanthus here that's getting a bit big for its boots. Now more dianthus and another Brunera. More lobelia. So in here, just about to the end now. In the here is my tiarella. Now this has little flowers on it, it's not flowering yet at the moment. It has flowers a little bit like the heuchera flower. And it's quite pretty. It's got a bit of growing to do in my garden yet. It's not very big. Haven't had it very long. There's some more Ameria here. Forget me not. There's another one that I let it flower, and then once it starts to get too straggly I pull them out, but I like having the white one. And I have some seedlings at the moment of a little red one, which could be interesting, that I have to plant today. Here's a little white bacopa. It doesn't do quite so well out the back here. It gets cut back a bit by the winter frosts, but it seems to emerge quite well again. Now this is the last one. This is a Corydalis flexuosa, and hasn't done very well in my garden, and I think I have to shift it because it struggles a bit here, and I don't know whether maybe it's not getting enough water or what's happening, or maybe I just have to move it to a different place. Alright, so here's some more. This is a Sweet William dianthus. It's a good ground cover there. So that's it, really. So you'll see along the edges that I really have still got gaps to fill, of course. We always have gaps to fill. But I use these plants and I can split them up as I go around the garden. And there's another little dianthus here. So thank you very much.